what we're dealing with is basically a jealous and paranoid boyfriend who currently cannot deal with certain things that are going on within his relationship with this said girl.
So and so in the past hurt you and did such a thing to you or whatever, but that's not the person standing in front of you.
Once you recognize the telltale signs that you're being punished for things you have not even done yet, based upon what has happened in the past, it's time to exit.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Last of the Nice Guys. I am your host, Joe. With me is Jason and Manny. And our topic for tonight will sound very redundant, but here we go. Portrait of a relationship dealing with a jealous boyfriend. This is gonna be
no.
Oh, it's not?
No,
That's not it?
No, that's not. That's not today. That's the next episode, man.
Oh, sorry, that's the next episode.
We
Yeah,
just discussed this.
This is a two-parter episode. What was the episode called again? Because I did not write that down.
Baggage.
Oh, yes. Today's episode is titled Portrait of a Relationship Dealing with Baggage or Past Baggage. You should know what the word baggage means. Everyone should know what that means, considering it's in the past. So
It's what everybody loses at the airport. Yeah, I got it.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, I should be taking this and letting Jason say this, but apparently, and not apparently so, but this is my topic tonight because my dear wife's friend pleaded to us to do this because she needed a guy's opinion and voice on what she thinks she's going through right now with her current man. No names will be given, by the way. We're not doing that. We're just going to say that she just asked us for help, and that's perfectly fine. We are here to help because we are manly men. No, we're not manly men. We're not. None of us are. Okay, Manny shaking his head. No, we're not. All right, that's fine. But yeah, this episode tonight kind of is something that we've been talking about sporadically throughout the entire podcast, but not as a whole, kind of like we just threw it in certain episodes. And this person that asks for help is definitely going through some stuff that she feels like instead of asking a woman's advice, it'd be easier to ask a man's advice because I guess we could have a better perspective on it. So Jay and Manny, with that being said, I have a lot of voice notes to play. I'm not going to play all of them because a lot of them are very long, but I have a few that I can play for you guys to basically, bring you some insight of what's going on. So whenever you're ready, I mean, if you guys want to chime in and say anything about this.
Just make sure you're playing the ones that are appropriate for this part of the episode.
And FYI, I've heard them. In the majority of them, I don't think because I heard them like a couple of days ago, and that was the last time I've heard these. I don't think they name drop anybody. If they do, we'll probably have to edit that shit out.
We'll have to fix it in post. And guess who fixes
Yeah,
it in post?
Jason's the magic man. I'm not. So he'll probably have to edit that out because I was just told prior to this, please don't name drop. So
you're
I was told that.
You're gonna give us the entire life story. We can't name drop. That's.
Listen. It doesn't make no sense.
I'm just saying you're gonna get real
no
deep with this. We can't name drop. You should have used aliases.
We should have, but I guess I don't. I guess to just.
Well, that's
easier.
enough for the prologue. Let's get into today's episode.
Okay, so today's episode again is about baggage and dealing with baggage. So Jay, can I play these clips?
You can go right ahead. This episode's already a train wreck, so it's great. Go ahead.
Do you want to say anything beforehand?
No, I don't know what I'm talking about to say anything.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, dealing with a significant other's baggage here on Laughing Nice Guys. Maybe I can use that for the friggin' intro because you suck.
Okay, the following clips are from said friend, so I will be playing them right now.
Okay, so this person right here is the person that was before.
Well, that was quick. How about we stop? Well, that didn't take no time at all.
Okay, I guess I'll just have to tell you, I'm guess I just have to tell you what exactly I've heard. What we're dealing with is basically a jealous and paranoid boyfriend, who currently cannot deal with certain things that are going on within his relationship with this said girl. Everything that this said girl does for him to give him some type of romantic insight or just be romantic in general, he thinks that it's not for him. He thinks it's for somebody else. On top of that, because of the jealous and paranoia that he shows towards her, from what she had told me, he did look into her phone, unwillingly, and not. I mean, who nowadays does look at their partner's phone, willingly and ask.
Besides, well.
Oh, besides, okay, you really? You asked?
No.
Oh
no.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah. No. So that's another thing that he had done to her, from what she told me. And then the third final one is that he uses his, this is perfect for the episode. He uses his past baggage, which he did claim to her and tell her, he admitted, against her, meaning like everything that he's been through, which was a harsh past, he kind of feels as if he's watching his own back with her. And she sees it, she feels it, she's kind of tired of it per se, and doesn't really know what to do because she likes the guy a lot. She knows he's a sweet guy, but he has a lot of things going on with him. So what do you guys, there you go, perfect. So what do you guys think in regards to her situation? And I also, not to cut you guys off because I know you guys are about to speak, but I also have, instead of voice notes, I have screenshots that I could read you guys.
Read the screenshots. Go for it.
Yeah, I need a little bit more context.
But make sure it's only about the insecurity part. We'll get to the jealousy part next time.
Right.
So like that voice note that you played was clearly going to be about the jealousy part.
Right. Well, this screenshot in particular indicates that he admits that he was wrong for going through her phone.
Okay.
So this is one of them. So she sends him an outfit that she, I guess, was going to wear or was about to wear. And he has questions about why she's wearing that or where she got it from. Going down on the screenshots, you also see that at the bottom, it says, "I was wrong for going through your phone and I'm sorry. It was not my place to do so. Despite what I saw, I apologize." What this person saw was more screenshots of outfits being sent to another person. It doesn't disclose in the screenshots from what they were saying what person it was coming from his perspective. It just says that he looked into her phone and was apologetic towards the fact that he it wasn't his place to do that and he saw something that he didn't like. So with that being said, another thing that hits me is the fact that that person that he was talking about was in fact the person that we spoke about from her past, that they are now friends. So this was an old flame of hers, and she was talking to this old flame.
Well, that
who
dovetails
are now friends. Yeah, who are now friends, and he
Well,
saw that. So
friends, air quotes, but yeah, we'll get to that. That's the jealousy part of it, and we'll get to that next episode because this is a lot. This is a very dense story from what we understood when you were here in Miami, which, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Joe was down here in Miami. It was for a different reason, and it was absolutely no time to record anything for Last
we
of the
had
Nice Guys.
zero time.
It was packed, but once it's packed as this topic or this response. So okay, so how do you want to handle this, Joe?
Well, since we're talking about the jealousy portion of it, like next time, I guess we're talking about the past baggage issues.
Yes.
So my thing is that, and I think the three of us are in agreement on this, or at least I hope we are. When you have past baggage of things that have happened to you, whether they have been negative or positive, but in this instance, it's, I guess, negative for him. You should probably end up dealing with that before you step into anything serious. And fix it as best as you can. I don't see how anybody can feel secure about themselves if they just jump into a relationship, even though from his case, he's known this girl for a very long time, and I guess he was waiting and couldn't, and was very happy to finally be with her. But you can't jump into that thinking that you're going to win her heart or whatever romantic shit if you still have demons that you're dealing with from your past. I mean, it's going to creep up on you, and this is exactly the case of what's happening now. So what do you guys think?
No dead air.
I guess I'm starting first. Okay. So as somebody who completely agrees with what you were saying about not moving on to or with another relationship until your previous baggage has been, discluttered and cleared out. It needs to it's necessary. You cannot move forward because here's the problem when you move on to another relationship and self-healing and all that stuff. If you're dealing with things internally, especially like bad breakups and bad relationships and trauma and yada 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 yada, if you're moving on from relationship to relationship, you cannot focus on yourself because you are focused on somebody else or something else. And that takes all of your focus and your time away from what you need to fix within yourself. So therefore, you're still broken and you cannot build. Think of it as a building. You cannot build anything up on broken foundation. So, you are going to be the weakest link in that relationship. So unfortunately, you can't move forward. If you're, as this guy is in my background, you can't move forward with all that baggage on top of you. It's a very hard thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's just stupid to do so because you're bringing up old stuff that had nothing to do with your current relationship. Yes, so and so in the past hurt you and did such a thing to you or whatever, but that's not the person standing in front of you. They may remind you of said person, they may do things similar, but you're not dealing with the same exact person. Therefore, you can't treat that same individual as the past individual. If that was the case, no one would be in any happy relationship if you're dealing with somebody in the past. Happiness doesn't come from bringing up and digging your dirt and opening up the closet for your skeletons. You have to move forward. You have to let go of the past. You have to, like I said, declutter your baggage and keep going. From the little bit that I've gathered from this conversation, whatever this guy is dealing with, homegirl has to make a choice. If he's showing his ass right now over sending outfits, that's a decision she has to make, you know, especially if they weren't like sexual outfits or lingerie or anything like that. It was just, oh, what do you think of these boots? You know, whatever. Like it's not a big deal. It's nothing crazy. But homeboy showing his ass, and homegirl's got to show, she's got to make a decision. You know, is this something that she's gonna want to, you know, deal with later on in life? Because, you know, some men get very possessive, especially when it comes to marriage and, you know, long-term relationships or whatever. And some men are not going to want, you know, their girl to be asking other men for their opinion on outfits or boots or something like an earring or something stupid, sunglasses. That jealousy is going to just get ramped up to 100 at that point. And in the future, it's going to be a bigger issue. How, Joe, do you know how long this couple had been together?
So it's indicated in one of the voice notes. I really wish I can play these, but I'm afraid that we'll have another mishap. It's indicated.
Maybe if you screened them first and you knew you was on them, you'd be able to play them without any.
No, I mean, I listened to the minute 46 one and the 2-minute 58, but there was another 47-second and another 34-second.
Okay, so
I didn't hear those two.
So what you could have done is listen to them prior. And let me stop.
Well, I mean, the two biggest ones I listened to, that was the most.
No,
but
I'm
according
judging you a little bit.
They've known each other for a long time, and they just recently got together. But it's been a little bit since they've been together. Do I have an accurate number? No, but they according to her, it's been some time since they've been together. And according to the text box as well that I had gotten from her, which is a WhatsApp text box. Again, I have gone through this and I have not even finished. That's how long it is. It's just a conversation between them both from the moment they started acquiring each other's interest and saying that they were both single to God knows what. So it's a long chat history, which to me indicates that she really wanted us. Yeah, exactly. That's what. Yeah, and it also indicates the fact that she really needed a guy's opinion about this, which I was actually going to ask you, Manny. Do you think that it's easier for a guy to get rid of baggage than it is for a girl or a woman? Sorry.
It depends on the guy's, what his proportional time frame when it comes to dating, and how the upbringing was, because, you know, having the father there in every man's life is obviously an important aspect of
right
how he's going to be raised as in the dating pool and everything. I would say in the beginning portion of first interactions and relationships, it's harder. But we as men build temperament, and over time we can build that wall and we can just throw shit to the side. You know, we don't have to worry about, you know, if it's not important anymore, we just throw it to the side, because we're more logical thinkers. It's a lot more difficult for women to let go of baggage because they're very emotional, and I'm sorry for I'm not trying to be anti-feminist or anything like that, but women are emotional creatures. Not saying that men are not at some point, but they think erratically and emotionally, and that is where the baggage comes in, because the baggage is, you know, oh, this is my old life, this is something I can't let go of. It's all emotional stuff. We as men, we're like, okay, this is an ex-girlfriend, out the window, we don't care, moving on. Women's like, oh, well, they'll open up the box, like, oh, I remember this memory, this made me feel so great, and then this little day. No, throw that shit away.
Right.
They tend to hold on to things that are more, I can't think of the word and put it on but it's an emotional, sentimental value. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
and that's the sentiment part of it is what women hold on to. And believe it or not, that baggage portion of it is what determines how they deal with their next relationship. Men don't really do that. We see red flags and we're just like, no, keep moving on. Women, they're like, oh, there's a red flag, but maybe there's something different, or maybe I can change that red flag. And you know,
maybe I can change it to
yeah,
green.
yeah, maybe I can change it to green, or fuck it, we'll make it purple, you know, whatever. We'll just go blue, red, whatever. So yeah, I think over time, just men build that, you know, that, what do you call it, resistance against holding on to baggage, and that temperament, that wall that makes us cold-hearted and whatever. But in this scenario, it just sounds to me like homeboy, like so they've known each other for a long time, and he finally got his opportunity to date this girl. And
Right.
it sounds like to me where his insecurities are also like, oh my God, like his inner child is out now. Like, I got my toy, you know, like, but at the same
Right.
time, I'm dealing with my inner demons, and it's like, I don't want to let my toy go. But at the same time, what are you doing? Like, he's got a lot to deal with. And honestly, like, again, I'm an advocate for therapy. He might actually have to see somebody about that, because it's going to affect the rest of his life. And then at the age that we're currently at now, it's not going to get any better. Dating sucks today, you know, and we've all expressed that several times. It is a monster of a headache, and just disappointments left and right. It's just it's hard to do, and everybody, it's just dealing with people today, it's just a mess. You know, we don't have the same attitude and mentality and capacity to deal with people that we did in the past. So homeboy needs to like go to therapy and erase his demons and get rid of that baggage, because it's only going to get worse. And like I said, females she's got to figure out what she wants to deal with next, because, you know, she's already expressed interest in somebody else, and that's a problem.
Well, another thing also I wanted to add is that throughout some of the text messages we had between her and I, she had mentioned that he did tell her that he has trust issues, and he did tell her why. I never got the why part. It's probably in the text box, but as you guys were talking, well, as Manny was talking, I kind of
he told her this when
this was not stated.
In the beginning,
this was not
in the middle, in the end. I mean, that's context, and that means something.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm happy that he's able to identify that he has trust issues. But now the next and more important question is, what the hell is he doing about it to make it better? Because if he's going to continue having trust issues that he's aware of, why'd you even bring it up in the first place? Right. You know, it's just it's stupid. Okay, yeah, I have trust issues. I don't trust people. Are you doing anything to change that? Because big part of a relationship is trust. And if you can't be a trusting person in a relationship, we're currently wasting our time right now. What's the point? So that's a very important thing that needs to be brought up.
And another one of the things I mentioned to her again in one of the WhatsApp conversations I've had with her, and I said, and I quote, I was like, certain men have a paranoia that sometimes needs to be slowly worked on with their partner if the partner chooses to be patient with them. I said what it looks like from the screenshots of what I was reading to you guys is that he saw something that he was not normally used to in regards to what you have and acted upon. Like, I don't know why I said that. Or acted upon it. I don't know why I said that. And I said, in this case, it seems like it was lingerie or an outfit. He probably thought you bought this for another guy. His reaction kind of proved or thought that, even though you bought it for him. He probably has some deep issues with his past, trust issues he fell into before he met you. I said to her, I had hashed those out with him and talked to him in a quiet, nice setting about it. Something like brunch or breakfast, where you guys can talk about it, talk about why or how he came to be in that position. The looking into the phone is also a sign of paranoia. Trust issues stemming from someone else. That's what I told her.
That is terrible advice.
I actually sent this. I sent this when I was with you, in the car when we were driving.
I understand. You're being diplomatic about it, and that's great, but that's terrible advice. It's time.
Well, I know your advice. Yes, exactly.
It's time to go.
But Jay, I'm more leaning towards your advice only because
Mhm.
even though I did sound diplomatic, there's always a part of me that kind of like sounds like, okay, let me put a little bit, let me be a little bit genuine, somewhat,
Softer.
so that
You're giving me the
right,
softer, the
just
more
just a little
optimistic
bit.
side. That's not
But
that's not a little bit, that's a lot of it. That's a
but
lot of
wait,
you
wait, but
you said discuss this at brunch. How much lighter do you need to be? I would have said call the guy,
you want to know
sit
why
with
I
him,
said
work your
in
shit
brunch?
out, and holler at me in the future, and maybe we can kick it. That's it.
You want to know why I said brunch or
Because
breakfast
you
or
were hungry. I
whatever setting?
know you
No,
were hungry. It
because
was
the reason why the reason trust me, man, you might be more hungry than me. The
oh
reason
shit.
why the reason why I said this is because, and this may come off, maybe I was thinking a little bit too deep or far into it, but what if I don't know the guy? I never met him, never talked to him, obviously. What if this guy kind of like, what if they did talk
Mm-hmm.
in another setting? And what if his reactions were a little bit aggressive or a little bit something else? We don't
Yeah.
know. So I figured in a sense, let her talk to him in an open setting so that in
Mm-hmm.
case this guy gets like a little angry or pissed, whatever, at least he's in an open
So
setting
so
with
so
her.
then or do it the other way. Don't meet up at all. Send a hearty text message and saying fix your life, get your shit together, holler at me in a year or two. Maybe if
And
I'm
that
single, cool.
I also agree
If
with
I'm
that too.
single, cool. I mean, let me. I mean, I'm being hardcore, but this is how I feel now. Let's differentiate between baggage and lessons learned. They can be the same thing in reality, you know. But lessons learned that you then visit the sins of your past onto the present, that's baggage. I'm not saying that we're condemning the lessons learned from your past. I am a definition of lessons learned. The guy I am as I'm dating in my 30s is not the guy I am when I was in my 20s. And that's lessons learned. It's guiding me when I interact with women and how I date, and it's keeping me from being a simp, from being a cuck, and especially being walked all
Wait,
over
you
again.
you were a cuck?
Okay, I'm just saying. I listen. You have to look at your life in three dimensions and recognize where you were failing. All right, and I failed myself in my 20s. The way I handle women now is a product of my past. However, everybody gets the 100%, what is it called, benefit of the doubt in the beginning. They all do. I know I gotta approach you. I know I have to text you for a little bit. I know I have to take you out. But then I expect a little bit more. In the past, I kept on going and going and going and going until you either dropped me or you gave me a shot.
Right.
That's a difference. Now, if I was to visit my past upon women, they hate me to death because I'd be like, "Fuck you! I'm not paying for anything," or you get the bare minimum. No, I'll give you something, but you have to earn the rest of it. That's lessons learned. When dealing
Right.
with baggage or dealing with a heart that you did not break, that's a phrase I like to use because it happened to me a lot. Once you recognize the telltale signs that you're being punished for things you have not even done yet, based upon what has happened in the past, it's time to exit. That's it. You can give them one shot and say, check it out. Don't bring this upon me. I didn't do this to you. I've said this many times to many women. I didn't do this to you. Why are you visiting this upon me? You get one shot. What happens again? That's it. Because you cannot help somebody with their inner demons. You really can't. You can be patient. You can take them to brunch, okay, if you want. But if they need to work it out on their own, you can't help somebody with their past because it's their past. You have nothing to do with it.
You weren't there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
You can
right.
listen. You can listen. You can pontificate. You can even play the benefit of hindsight game with them, or the shoulda, woulda, coulda. But you can't change their past, and you can't help them deal with it or address it. That's something they do with themselves. And you can't be the pincushion for them while they're working that shit out. Dude needs to go to therapy, or needs to do some meditation. But if he can recognize that he has trust issues, then he has no business dating. That's it. Forget dating you, miss. Dating in general. It's very mature that he says, I have trust issues. But the mature thing should be, I have trust issues. I need to work this shit out. I have no business being in the dating world. I have no business dating anybody right now.
Yep.
That's maturity at its finest. Even if you are the one that he's been waiting for forever, he should be able to recognize, you know what? I'm not at my best form right now. You don't deserve this part of me. Let me work on this. Hopefully my chance will come again. Now, if you pursued him after he did that, you're a dick. You're an idiot. That is your fault.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he told you what this trust issues thing in the middle of you guys talking. Because if he told you in the beginning, then you're an idiot. Because nobody should get involved with somebody who can admit to them freely, I have trust issues. You're already losing the race at the beginning. Why would you want to run a losing race up front? So you have to then, you're running the race, you have to deal with the trust issues just to get to neutral to then earn their trust. That's a lot of fucking work.
Yep.
In the beginning, and you didn't do anything? Nah, dog, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. He told you in the middle, and you made the decision to stick around. Also stupid, but not as stupid as the beginning. It's time to cut brother loose. There is no brunch. There is no talking. None of that. Especially if his insecurities are dragging him further into doing things like violating your privacy.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
dude, okay?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Let's can we be real about this? You
Yes,
run
what it
things to
is.
your phone that is violating your privacy. And that's just the beginning. It will go further.
Mm-hmm.
These things don't stop with that. They get worse. And they go further. And they get even further. So I ask you, Miss Thing, where do you draw the line? At what point are you going to say, this is it? I got to break this off. It's not the insecurities. It's not him overreacting to monotonous text messages. It's not him going through your phone. What is it? You go into your house and he's already there, wondering where you've been all night.
Right. Like where
Like
what's
how?
the next step?
Where's the line? And that's what you need to ask yourself. This is why I don't have. I mean, I don't have that. Oh, it'll be okay, darling. Do you? I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Make it very clear. What I am saying is he has no business dating at this moment. He needs to work some shit out.
And there really is nothing wrong with that. You can work your shit out and date when you're ready. There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with that.
There's
It's perfectly
nothing wrong
normal.
with
It's
that.
okay.
Now, if somebody wants to work it out with you, then they have to accept the reality that they're going to be the punching bag.
Yep.
And if she accepted that reality, she wouldn't be coming to us right now. So clearly she didn't accept that. Woman, you need to let him go. You need to tell him as honest as possible. You know, I do like you. I see potential in you, but you got to work your shit out. Fix your life. Hopefully, I'm still single in a year or so. Holler at me again when you feel comfortable. When you got your shit together. When you're a man again.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta say. That's the reality of it. Who wants to deal with this kind of behavior? Why do we deal with this kind of behavior? You know, I'm surrounded by this shit. Whether it's divorce or shitty relationships.
Who's not surrounded by it?
Exactly. Divorce, shitty relationships where one person's being treated like shit and they stick around. Why?
That's
You
the
know?
question.
You know why?
Like why?
Because the dating world is fucking scary. That is why.
You're
It's
right.
also terrible.
The grass may not be greener on the other side, but if you're gonna be in shitty grass, at least have your freedom and your comfortability and your opportunity for more.
Yeah.
You can't spread seeds when you're stuck in the mud. But if you get out of that shit, you step on some shitty grass, spread some seeds, see what happens. There's more opportunity being single and trying again than sticking in the bullshit
Then there
that you
is,
have and hoping that the sun and his rays will make the grass green again. No, because every time I hear these stories, I think of that one ex that we broke up because she ghosted me on my birthday. In the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. It's nothing compared to these other stories. But it's enough for me to say, no, I deserve better than that. Why can't you people understand you deserve better than being treated? Now, if you gave him a reason to feel a certain way, fine. Address it, apologize, move on. But if you know you didn't do this to this man and he's treating you like this, it's time to go.
Right.
It's time to go.
Right. Absolutely. And this is the reason why I kind of like don't like to hear stories like this sometimes, because I, even though I said what I said to
It's
her in the WhatsApp
frustrating.
chat,
It's
it's frustrating.
frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating to hear and think from the outside in. Um, I remember quite a few times in my own past where even before my wife today, I have had issues before, and um, I've addressed them by just being single and just being, I guess,
A
you know,
whore, a man
a
whore.
whore. There you go.
Yeah.
And it worked for me because I didn't have any attachment, and I just had fun. And everybody has that that stage in their life. So it's perfectly okay. But I didn't put myself in a position to be in a relationship for a long time. And I'm talking about this was years and years ago. But I definitely don't think that you should make your partner suffer mentally by having to stick around, especially if they're having severe trust issues like that. If you know that he or she's having trust issues, but you and like Jason said, you still end up staying, that really is on you. That's pretty much on you. I mean, the person has to fix their life and has to be able to fix whatever issues they go that they're facing. But if you know these issues and you're very aware of them, and you still decide to stay and stick around, that's definitely on you.
Yep.
And and this is the reason why I am like two-faced and two-sided with this, because I 100% agree with Jason with what he said.
No, but
I don't think
you still have hope. That's
somewhat, but
that's the difference.
it's diminishing. It's diminishing, and
It always does.
it diminishes almost every year. And at this point right now, compared to what how long I've known you guys, at this point this year, like my hope is pretty much kind of like towards the floor. So this is the reason why I'm like praising what he said, because I definitely think that it's not gonna work out for you towards the
No,
end.
no,
It's not.
No.
no.
And it's just going to get worse and
Yep.
worse and worse. And the
And
phone thing might even be the start. And like Jason said, it could be even, hey, let me just pop up at your job and wait there until you come out, or let me just pop up at your house and park in front of I've heard of these instances where people just parked in front of their partner's house
Mhm.
and just waited until they got out, or just watched them get out, like just dumb shit like that. You never know what could happen.
I've got a
But those,
coworker right now. I've
that's
got a
like,
coworker right now who will say things like, I can't, I can't go out because my husband won't let me, or he never lets me go anywhere by myself now. Stuff like that. And this is the shit I'm talking about. It wasn't always like this. It devolved into this. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Because what you do is they'll push and you let it slide. They go a little further, you let it slide. And for all you know, it went from checking on your phone to tracking you on your phone, to make sure where you are, why is it taking you so long, who are you with, you can't go with your friends. It's a stepping stone of possessiveness that stems from insecurity and it turns out kind of a bit of a control and malice.
yeah,
Why
Yep.
put yourself in a position where something can go that far? Oh, he's a nice guy. Fan-fucking-tastic. Nice guys can be dicks too. Nice guys can be possessive too. What's your point? There's plenty of nice guys out there that do not exhibit that, Yes, I'm not diminishing that he probably had something traumatic happen to him. Fan-fucking-tastic. Work that shit out. You shouldn't be dating. I don't
right.
care how long you've been waiting for this woman to come along. You shouldn't be dating.
Nope.
Okay. And you should be and you should be smart enough to realize when there's a lost cause right now. There's a little bit of a lost cause. He can
Yeah,
apologize. He can say he can do better. But can he though? Can he really?
it's like
No.
that whole thing with someone saying, oh, I know I looked through, like I know I looked through your phone, I know what I saw, like I shouldn't have seen, and blah blah blah, and I apologize. But then like they make themselves feel better after saying that, and then once they feel better saying that, and the damage is already done, they're like, okay, I'm safe. And then the moment something else triggers him or
Yeah.
her, it's like, shit, now I gotta look at it again.
Yeah.
It's like it just never ends.
It's
It
it's
just
never
never
gonna
ends.
end. And the problem is when you enable situations and um uh things of that nature. I can't think of the word either. I don't know why words are just leaving my head because I'm reading too many words right now.
I know that's right.
when you enable that kind of behavior, you are allowing it to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. It's the same thing as having a baby, a small child, and you allow that small child to do stupid shit. And then next thing you know, the child gets hurt, and you're like, oh snap, I should have maybe handled that differently. It's the same aspect. If you enable this kind of behavior, it's only going to get worse until it explodes into something else entirely. And the only person that's going to get hurt is you, because you're the one, you're the one sitting there dealing with it.
I agree with Manny. Relationships are like raising babies somehow.
Right.
They are, because you nurture it in the beginning.
That's
right?
all you can nurture.
You nurture it in the beginning, and then it grows into something.
Yeah, I got some that grows.
Slap it around a little bit.
I know, that's right. You can slap this growth around all you want.
You gotta feed it a little bit, and then next thing you know, you leave it. You never come back home after you go get that carton of cigarettes.
Exactly. You go and I'm gonna go get some cigarettes, and you never come back. That's what she should do. That's what she should do. She should say, babe, I'm going to go. She should say, babe, I'm gonna go out get some milk and eggs, and then just block his number and never show back up again. There you go. I mean, it's funny. I'd say, no ghost, but in this case, I think it's worth it. What she should have done is once he went, I wish I knew the context of how she found out that he went through. He probably confronted her, right? And
it's if you look at the chat that we have, you should just see if the voice notes can work, and just like it could be in there.
But do we have context? Did he just like say, yo, I saw this on your phone, or did she find out that he went through her phone?
The only thing I got was the context of the text message between them both, which says that from him. That's it.
Okay.
And it's like very convoluted. Like it's just
right. The simple fact
it's all over the place.
That should have been. I know that should have been a deal breaker right there. That should have been it. That should have been actually. Well, that should have been a deal breaker. But when he started overreacting to pictures saying, "Hey, this is what I'm going to wear," and his first thought is negativity. You're dating somebody whose first thoughts go negative. Who's this for?
Right.
Who got this for you? Where does this come from?
Right.
As opposed to, damn, baby, you're wearing that for me. Come on now. What are we doing here?
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, the first thoughts in the head are negative.
So then the question is, what did you do to make him be negative when you immediately to go that to? Okay, if the answer is nothing, then bitch, what are you doing? Get out of there.
Yep.
Get out of that relationship. Because who would want to date somebody whose first thoughts when they think of you is negative? What did you do? Who did you do? Where did you do? Why did you do?
Right, because
why would you want that?
The biggest thing of having a negative condemnation against somebody else is that everything that happens from there on out, while you have that negative thought and viewpoint of that person, will be negative. Oh, right. I'm gonna come home late from work today. Oh, you're probably with that bitch.
Exactly.
No, legit. I'm coming. Whatever. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. You're a liar.
Yeah. Why? Okay. Who wants that?
Who wants to deal with that every day?
Who wants that?
Every day. Everything is gonna be negative. It's just gonna negative. And it's just like, oh, I brought you flowers. What did you do?
Yeah.
Why did you get me flowers? You never got me flowers before. You never got me a gift before.
Yeah.
You never came home with pizza. Where does pizza come from?
Yeah.
Do you know the pizza guy?
Yeah.
It's gonna just get.
Where does pizza come from?
Exactly.
Where does Taco Bell come from?
And I'm not saying that his baggage or his fears aren't justified based on his past, but they're not justified to his present. Right. If you didn't do it to him, why are you being punished?
You're being punished.
And you know for a friggin' fact, you wouldn't take this behavior from anybody.
Right.
You wouldn't. You absolutely would not accept this behavior. You'd say, listen, I didn't do it. Why am I being punished? It's happened at work. You'd say something. It happened at school. You'd say something. It's happened. You would say something because you're romantically involved. They get a pass. Have you?
Even if it's like a person that you haven't known for a long time, and you're just starting to talk to, aka
correct.
You wouldn't. No.
Correct.
You wouldn't.
No,
but nowadays, who actually kind of really does admit in the first stages that they have like those trust issues?
No, that's
no one really says it.
Not really. No, but the signs are there.
Right.
I only give him a benefit of the doubt because he admits it, which is great. But from what I understand from this conversation, the signs were already there. Dude has issues.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said, I have trust issues, she should have been like, you don't say.
But here's another important question. He's only stating that he has trust issues. What are the issues does he have?
Yeah.
Because you don't just have trust issues. There's other shit that comes with having
course.
trust issues.
Of course.
So what other issues would you be currently dealing with in the future if you just let that trust issue go?
And that's also
now
part two.
Right. So now it's like, what other literal shit are you bringing to the table? Like what else are you bringing here? So now we've got the jealousy and we've got the baggage. Like what else can you bring? Are you going to bring violence? Are you going to bring
that's where I was
arguments?
Going. That's
are you
going
to bring
because it will escalate. It will escalate. I'm not saying
in the voice note you hear children.
Yes.
So she's got kids, right? So if she's got kids, now you're going to bring this man with all this drama and baggage in front of the kid. That's not healthy. Does
she have kids, Joe?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's not healthy. So she needs to start looking at this in a different way.
We should collectively give her the middle finger right now because this is ridiculous. Because now if I knew she had kids, I wouldn't even be entertaining this topic because this is ridiculous. You not only have a responsibility to yourself, and you have the responsibility to your children. If you're bringing what is arguably a potentially toxic person into your life, that you're bringing into your kid's life, have you? What the fuck are we doing? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? I thought she was just a single woman dating a guy she's known for a while. She's a single mother. That's a totally different story. Yeah, I heard the kids in the background, but I just thought it was somewhere else. I didn't know that those were her kids. She's lost her goddamn mind.
You hear small children in the background, which is why I asked, if children are involved and you're bringing this man into the situation, this is a complete and utter red flag, and you just need to run away from the situation entirely.
Absolutely.
Because if you're thinking about this solely about yourself and how you feel, you're selfish as shit. I'm sorry.
Shit.
Because
preach it, brother. Preach it.
If you're only looking at the situation as, it's only going to affect me, bullshit, because you have children, it's going to affect them whatsoever. Because now,
but he may not ever meet my children. So what's the problem?
It's bullshit, because that's going to happen if it becomes a long-term situation. And then the small children, whether they're male, female, whatever they want to identify in the future, because future is robots, they're going to see this growing up, and they're going to be like, like the men or the boy is going to be like, it's okay to treat women like that. I can treat them like shit. And they're going to grow up thinking that it's okay to do that. Or the women's going to be, or the girl's going to be like, because again, I don't know what they are. They're going to grow up and be like, it's okay for a man to treat me like shit. So I can let a man do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just not, it's not conducive to
regardless
the mental stability for children.
Regardless of whether he meets them, these kids or not, your relationship will bleed over into your home. Whether they hear you yelling on the phone because something happened, or he's showing up randomly, or whatever it is, it'll bleed over to home. It always does. Okay. You have a responsibility as a single mother that you can't even afford yellow flags from dudes you meet. Forget the red flags. You can't suffer.
Yeah, like you have to be caught.
Exactly. You can't suffer fools. A yellow flag is too much for you as a single mother. What the fuck are we talking about here now?
Yeah, you got to take. You got to
be a dead story. Again, I'm not saying this guy is bad news. I'm not saying he's going to be violent. I'm saying he may have the potential to do it because he sounds possessive as shit. And possessive and jealousy are the cousins of domestic violence. But that's not here nor there. What I'm saying though is, he's got shit he's dealing with. You recognize that it's time to go.
That's the main point of this.
That's it. That's it. There's nothing else to discuss. There's nothing else. It's time to go. He might say, I'm sorry, I'll do better. That's great. Do better on your own. No, but I'm not being nasty about it. Do better on your own. I need to be responsible. We can kick it again in the future. If I'm single and you're single,
my kid's grown.
You never know. You never know in the future. It's a phrase. I'm not saying he's not the right one for you. What I am saying, he's not the right one for you right now.
Right now, yeah, he ain't it right now.
That's it.
Right.
That's a phrase
Right.
that my kid's mom's mom used to once said. I've been it before. I'm not saying he's not the right one for you. What I am saying is he's not the right one for you now.
Right now. And
Not
and
right
that's
now.
and the sad thing about it is women tend to think as time as I don't want to say binary, but like finite. And I get time is finite because we're all living our lives on borrowed time. I understand that, whatever. But the thing is, if we all live our full-fledged healthy lives as we're supposed to, as you just said, Jay, if it's not now, it can be later. It doesn't have to be right now, because just because he doesn't have the potential to be the man you need right now doesn't mean he won't be later on in life. A lot of people mature and grow differently and different rates in their lives.
Right.
Some people do it right off the gate at graduating high school and at 18. Some people are 40. Some people are 40, 45, 50
Allegedly.
before they realize I fucked up.
Mama.
My mom, leave my mom out of this. Stop talking about my mom.
I was talking about Joe's mama, but yeah, okay.
But sometimes people mature and grow differently. Some people it takes situations for them to realize that they need to grow.
For all you know, that's the definition. For all you know, you telling this man kick rocks might kick
him where
exactly.
He needs to go.
It might make him be like, you know what?
You're right.
That's the girl I really wanted.
I fucked up.
And I drove her away.
Yeah.
I need to work on myself.
Right.
For all you know, that's the reason why you guys were put together, for you to wake up and realize, hey, I don't need this, and say, listen, you're cool people, but I can't deal with this. You disappear, and he sits there by himself like, damn, I just drove this chick that I've wanted for a hot minute.
Right.
I
drove her straight out the door.
I said, I need to work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the whole point of it all. And maybe in a few months he might, and maybe you guys can reconnect. It's not a lost cause. It's nothing's forever, nope. Except baby mamas. But what I'm saying is,
oh God, isn't that the truth?
Yeah. So
it's not forever, but it's definitely
correct.
It feels like it.
But what I'm saying though is that the best thing you could probably do for him is walk away.
Right.
I think that's the best thing you can do for him. And
the only thing you should do for you,
the only thing you should do for you, and the fact that you're a parent. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. I don't even want to do a part 2 to this, because it doesn't make any sense. There's nothing more I can add to this besides get the fuck out of there, woman. That's pretty much all I can say.
I think you pretty much nailed it.
We will, because it's dealing with a man's jealousy is a great topic.
And I'll also give me the chance to hear the rest of what was going on also, so I can get a better insight on the part 2 episode.
So let's do final thoughts, because I think we've hit it on the nail. Now that the context.
No, this was a straightforward hit, right on the nail episode. This was
we really didn't bash women today. So
we didn't bash women today, and make it very clear. You saw us go ham on a man's behavior.
Yep,
that's the reality.
Yes,
just because we did. We didn't do any victim blaming. We didn't do any what did you do to him? We took her at her word, and we completely, for lack of a better word, trashed this guy and said you need to walk away, because it's never really been about the sexes, though we do champion discussing the female's roles and the nonsense that exists in dating. We are not above saying that's fucked up, male or female. So I want to make it very clear. That's that. Now, when we get into part 2, I can't guarantee we're going to be as amicable with her, depending upon what exactly led to the jealousy part. So they're just throwing that out there. Final thoughts, gentlemen, as we wrap up part 1 of this boyfriend saga, portrait of relationship saga.
Red flags, if you see them early, which I stated this back in the beginning.
Everybody sees the red flags, though. It's not about seeing them early. Everybody sees them.
If you right, but
exactly. I'm jealous of this. We're all jealous of this.
But for those who actually are not oblivious to them and actually do see them, kudos to you, because hopefully you have the balls to go ahead and say something to that person in the beginning. If you don't, and like these gentlemen said, you ignore them, then it's only going to get worse for you. Which intake this episode clearly states and showcases how it could get worse if you choose to ignore them and want advice from the opposite sex, which is fine to do that. Again, it's perfectly fine to get advice and opinion, but you really in the end need to follow what your gut says. And if your gut is telling you that this is not right, I feel like I'm going to get into more trouble, and I feel like I'm going to get my phone taken away, and that person's going to see more shit and blah blah blah. Then you're probably going to end up hurt. It could be emotionally, could be physically, could be both. So it definitely makes sense to tell that person, hey, if you're dealing with this stuff, it's best if we just split and go our separate ways. And in the future, if we're still single together, we can make it happen. But it's not going to work if it's like this right now. Not going to work. So
as a individual who hates the dating world and dating today,
Absolutely.
My only thing that I can say is think about your children before you start making any decisions when it comes to who you choose to date and move forward with in your life. Because whoever you decide to deal with is going to be directly related to your children. Or I shouldn't say related, but they're gonna deal with your children at one point in time. So don't be selfish. Pay attention to the red flags. And if you're one of those individuals that likes to ignore and enable, or likes to ignore red flags and enable certain behaviors that are red flag-ish, maybe you need to start looking into yourself. Again, you can't move forward if you're being dragged down with baggage. And you just need to figure stuff out, what you want to deal with in the future, what you don't want to deal with right now. There's a lot to unpack here. And there's a lot of context missing, but from the gist of what we got, kids come first. If you can't realize that, then you have no business in the dating pool. You will just be passed on and move forward. And people are just, because I've dealt with that before, where someone was, oh, let's go out every night. Well, don't you have kids? Yeah, but that's fine. I'll just
right.
Well, what time do they have with you if you're just out with me all the time? Oh, that don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about that. No, I'm going to worry about that, because if I'm going to be the cause of your relationship downfall with your children, no, thank you.
Right.
I want no part of that. So
it's priorities.
Right. So you need to think about it in that aspect. And if you don't, you're selfish in life. And if you're selfish, you ain't getting shit out of it. So good luck to you on that one. That's it.
I agree and disagree with Manny when it comes to the need for context and understanding. We don't need that. If we're going to take it at face value, and we're going to take it, even if it's half of what you're saying, and you showed us the receipts, by the way, we don't need any more context. It's time to go. That's it. All you're going to get from context and understanding is excuses of why you should stay and why there's hope. No, but I like this guy. But I like this person, but they're caring, but I'm attached to what exactly? To what? Joe said, follow your gut. Your gut has already spoken. That's why you're reaching out to literally 3 dudes as far away from your situation to get the most objective response that you can get without any bias, because you already know what you need to do. Time's up already. You're just hoping against hope that there's something we would say that might give you hope, when in reality, you already know what the right decision is. I know this, you know this. And anybody who can identify with this story knows it's time to go. Why? Why be miserable? For what reason? Context be damned. I will give you one shot. If I see something that I don't like, I will discuss it with you. I will talk about it. If there's no resolution or no change, I have to go. Life is too short for that nonsense, especially if you aren't engaged, aren't living together, aren't married. Keep it moving. And even in those situations, I still say keep it moving, but I understand it'd be a harder process to separate. But there's nothing binding you to somebody who's not 100%. Why should you expect anything less? Why should you accept anything less but 99.9%? Nobody will give you 100%. And when you can answer that question, then you know what the answer is. And that is the end of part 1 of 2 about this portrait of a relationship saga brought to us by an anonymous, not bonus, I was going to say benefactor. That's not the right thing. Anonymous audience member who was reaching out. And you know what? I accommodate. What's the word I want to say? Come on now friggin' Manny's bug is in my head. I respect and I commend you for reaching out to us and then reaching out in general. Someone would take it and suffer in silence or keep it within themselves and eventually get out. But you're reaching out. So first and foremost, I commend you. That being said, bitch, what are you doing? So that's it. Thank you for tuning in to Last of the Nice Guys. I'm Jason. That's Joe and Manny. This is part 1 of 2. What you're a nice guy. Next episode is going to be about jealousy as we get a little deeper into the neurosis that is this man and see, is it really just him or is there more? Stay tuned. And thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.